This is called The Box. Once upon a time in the land of Hushabye, around those wondrous days of yore, they came across a kind of box bound up with chains and locked with locks and labeled, "Kindly do not touch, it's war." A decree was issued round about, and all with a flourish and a shout, and a gaily colored mascot tripping lightly on before. "Don't fiddle with this deadly box, or break the chains, or pick the locks, and please, don't ever play about with war." The children understood. Children happened to be good, and they were just as good around the time of yore. They didn't try to pick the locks or break into that deadly box. They never tried to play about with war. Mommies didn't either. Sisters, aunts, grannies neither. Because they were quiet and sweet and pretty in those wondrous days of yore. Well, very much the same as now, and not the ones to blame somehow for opening up that deadly box of war. But someone did. Someone battered in the lid, spilled the insides out across the floor. A kind of bouncy, bumpy ball made up of flags and guns. All the tears and the horror and the death that comes with war. It bounced right out the door, went bouncing all about, bumping into everything in store, and what is sad and most unfair is that it just didn't really seem to care much who it bumped, or why, or what, or for. It bumped the children mainly, and I'll tell you this quite plainly, it bumps them every day and more, leaves them dead and burned and dying, thousands of them sick and crying. For when it bumps, it is very, very sore. Now, there's a way to stop the ball. It isn't very hard at all. All it takes is wisdom, and I'm absolutely sure that we can get it back into that box and bind those chains and lock those locks. But no one seems to want to save the children anymore. Well, that's the way it appears. For that ball's been bouncing around for years and years in spite of all the wisdom whizzed since the wondrous days of yore and the time they came across that box, bound with chains and locked with locks. We need to get to something happier for Christmas. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.